This is totally useless information with Nick and Roy. Listen, laugh, and learn.
What was the first clothing to have a logo put on it?
And what is a French tuck? Don't get those two mixed up. Hi, I'm Nick.
And I don't want to know. I'm Roy. And this week we scoured the internet for totally useless information just for you.
Plus, we'll answer your questions in the mailbag. And in the news, once bitten. Oh, wait, are you a Scorpio?
Totally useless information. It's everything you never needed to know.
You look funky.
Welcome to the Totally Useless Information Fashion Show.
Welcome to this program. Boy, oh boy, every week.
Nick and I are both fashion plates.
Yes.
Trendsetters, you
yes,
know.
Fashion plates. We have a complete set of 8. Thank you for joining us once again, week after week. We can't tell you how much we really appreciate it. Roy and I literally wait all week to do this. We have nothing else going on. We just wait. And then when it's time, we
maybe Nick, but
speak for yourself. I guess I am. How about this?
One thing I can't wait is I can't wait for it to end.
Well, in order for it to end, we have to get started. So here we go. So, boy, that's really deep, huh? In order for something to end, you have to get it started. Okay, sure.
I like that. I'm going to put that in a song.
You should. There you go. Now, I don't know if you've ever had this. Have you ever worn a Van Dyke mustache?
I know what it is, but no. And I do have a mustache, but it is not a Van Dyke.
Van Dyke. Well, this particular Van Dyke mustache was named after the celebrated Flemish painter Anthony Van Dyke. Go figure. The Van Dyke is one of the oldest mustache families.
Did he have a cough as well? I mean, he was a bit Flemish.
No. That's right. He took some cough medicine. He was okay. He was Flemish. He's from the I don't know what country of Fleming that is. Anyway, it's one of the oldest mustaches families. Now, particularly popular.
Is Flemish Dutch, like the Dutch masters? Flemish?
Probably so, because if you know what if you remember what a Van Dyke looks like, I think it looks like what did you call the Dutch? Let's see, Flemish.
I always loved that show, the Dick Van Dyke Show. I thought it was wonderful.
Watch out for that Ottoman.
I believe it's
Uh,
Dutch master.
listen-
I believe he was one of the Dutch masters.
well, it's the Flanders is from Belgium. It's a Dutch-speaking community in the northern part of Belgium.
Yeah, he was a Dutch master, Van Dyke.
That's right. He was. Now, it predates the imperial mustache.
I remember that from the art regions.
Well, that's right. That's how you would remember it. But it was popular amongst the European royalty, actually. Well, they were loyal during the 17th century, and it predates the imperial mustache by over a century, the Van Dyke.
Cool. Mark Twain, famous author of Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, was also an inventor. His real name was Samuel Clemens. He went by the pen name Mark Twain. And the bra clasp that we use today.
Oh.
Isn't that cool?
Wow.
This man wrote Huckleberry Finn,
Yeah.
Tom Sawyer,
Yeah.
and invented the bra clasp.
Okay. Well, you said the one that we use today. Maybe speak for yourself. Let me give you my teaser. What is a French tuck? And again, don't get dyslexic on me. The French tuck was popularized by the fashion stylist Tan France. He coined the term after his last name, Tan France. A French tuck is when you tuck in your shirt just in the front or to one side and leave the rest of the shirt at the sides and the back untucked.
Oh, that is so funny. I'm going to tell my wife that. She said, "How does this shirt look?" She said, "Tucked or untucked?" She said, "Or half tucked." Now I can tell her it's a French tuck.
There you go. So you go. And then she'll call you a French
Yeah.
tuck.
Okay, this was my tease. The famous brand Lacoste, Lacoste, Lacoste,
Yes.
is the first company in 1933. The designer decided to use a crocodile to put on the front of his golf shirts and sweaters. And it became the first designer logo to be worn outside of the tag.
Oh,
And then, of course, now there's logos on everything. You know, Calvin Klein made a fortune doing it.
even the logos have logos on them. That's what they do.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Now,
because the alligators are hungry. You know, you get too close to them, they'll eat everything.
what was that joke where the alligators who wore like shirts that have pictures of humans on them?
Yeah, people.
They had people on them. So recently, from time to time, now you probably heard us talk about Tom's Place. Now, Tomaholic is a local businessman in Toronto where I am, and he has a suit store, Tom's Place. So I was in there recently, and we had a great chat. And of course, he's a great supporter of Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. In fact, you can catch him on our newsletter. So if you go to nickandroy.com and you sign up for the newsletter, you'll see what I'm talking about. He's a great supporter.
The video's cool.
It
The
is.
video's great.
But I asked him, since I had him in the store, I said, look, I happen to bring a microphone with me because I bring my microphone everywhere. I noticed a lot of the men who wear suits don't button the last button. Why doesn't the button, why don't you button the last button? And he had an explanation.
You never, ever button the last button in a suit or in a vest because it's not cut for that. And as you all know, when you're wearing a vest, it's close to your body. And you always weigh more than you think you do. So your stomach is in the way. So never, ever close the last button on your vest. And another thing, when you try on a sport jacket or a suit, I see people doing the last button, but the garment is not cut for you to close the last button. It's only there as a decoration to enhance the look of the garment. Never close it. Always leave it open. If you want to close your middle button on a 2-button suit, it's fine. Normally, the sport jackets, I don't even bother doing it up because they're always a little bit tight on me. I like to wear my clothes just this touch on the snug side. It looks trimmer.
He's right. And I wear suit jackets all the time.
And you don't button the last button.
I button the last button.
You do?
I do, and I'll tell you why. Because I never sit down. But if you sit down, you can't have both buttons buttoned. You will blow that button off. I don't care if you're skinny or bigger. It doesn't matter how tight. It's not made, like he said. The garment is not made to do that. A lot of people unbutton it before they sit down, even the middle button. But you can sit with the middle button on a jacket. But if you have both done, you can't. The only reason I do it is because I'm constantly moving around and I really don't want the jacket opened or moving around. So it just makes me feel more comfortable. But honestly, he's 100% right. Etiquette says middle button only.
Well, the thing is, when Roy's talking about he's walking around and stuff, he not only does he entertain us here on Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy, but if you're in the southwest part of Florida, you can check him out while he sings and he croons, and you can watch him with his jacket open, just like that, as he said.
Yeah, sometimes the jacket flies open and you'll get to see the French tuck.
Go to musicbyroy.com and you see what we're talking about.
Queen Elizabeth I was such a fan of hats that every woman in the kingdom that was seen in public without a hat on Sundays or major holidays was ridiculed and given a huge fine. So they had to wear hats.
I like that. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she knew every single one of them. There's so many hats. My gosh, she was one incredible lady. Whether or not
she did a lot of things. She wore a lot of hats.
She did. I mean, look, that's right. Whether you're a fan of the royalty or not, I mean, she was just that kind of very special person. Now, one last thing I asked Tom about was I also noticed that some men wear cuffs on their pants. So I asked him, hey, man, what up with the cuffs on the pants?
Well, I can tell you, I put cuffs on all of my pants. I love cuffs. I'm quite tall, and if there's enough fabric, I will put a cuff on. Duke of Windsor always wore a cuff on his pants. Always. Even he put cuffs on his tuxedos. During the war, the Duke ordered the tuxedo in Savile Row with cuffs on his pants, and they couldn't do the trouser for him because during the war they were rationing cloth. And in England there was a law where no tailor can put a cuff on a pair of pants. Wow. So what they had to do, the tailor shop in Seville Row made the jacket, but they had to do his trousers in the United States. So please remember, cuffs are never out of style.
So, I agree. I love cuff pants. You can't find them much. You have to have them tailored, but they do look more formal.
Well, according to Tom, he said that the Duke had to send his pants to New York, which means he was walking around England without pants for the longest time.
I cuff my boxer shorts. It makes me sing higher.
Yeah, now singing soprano.
I got a really good one. Dyeing of hair became very fashionable in the ancient times, like Egyptian times, especially the color black, jet black hair.
Yeah.
What stopped most women from doing it was not the money. It was the fact that 8 out of 10 women would lose their hair because the chemical compounds would burn their hair off their head.
Oh.
So it was very, very, you had to go to the right person. Otherwise, you were going to probably lose your hair. So dyeing hair has been around since the ancient times. It just has gotten a lot better. You could burn your hair right off. Right, Nick?
Oh, I'm sorry. You were talking to me. Yeah, you know what? Every once in a while, when you talk about hair, like I just lose concentration because I haven't had to deal with hair since, 1982.
Nick and Roy will continue with totally useless information.
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times. Or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months. Or the Rogue heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
Totally useless information with Nick and Roy continues. Listen, laugh, and learn.
Hey, you're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. Thank you very much. 73 countries around the world. And we have some exciting news that we're going to tell you maybe next episode. But we're going to expand. Not just our pants.
I want to say thanks, too, for Tom for doing those totally useless bits for us. They were pretty useful.
They were. And so I told him I have to apologize to the audience for being useful. But you know what? He's fantastic. Like I said, he's a great supporter of the show, and he's just a great guy. But if you're in the Toronto area, not that I want to make this sound like a commercial, but go to Tom's place, 190 Baldwin Street in the heart of Kensington Market.
See, I interrupt you all the time, Nick, and I'm sorry. So what was your big news? I mean, everybody wants to know, what was the big news?
Well, here's the thing. So we are on coast to coast to coast in Canada, of course. We've been telling you for many, many months now, and that is on the iHeartRadio Talk Network. But we're going to expand our radio footprint. That's all I can say right now legally. So we'll let you know when, so stay tuned to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy.
Wall Street, Bay Street, NASDAQ, Hang Seng, loonies, toonies, dollars, and yens. This is On the Money with Nick and Roy.
All right. The U.S. Currency Department did tests and found that the U.S. paper banknote can be folded. How many times do you think, Nick?
The banknote? 50 off the top of my head.
4,000 times.
Wow.
before it even shows where.
Oh.
That's a durable piece of paper, I'll tell you.
So what I want to know is, how much time did the person who found this out, how much time did they have in their hands? Because they're like, after 3,000, nope, I can go some more.
No, it was the U.S. Department of Currency, so they probably spent like $1 billion to figure this out.
Of course.
I mean it.
One of you're right, it is scary. Well, I remember one of the facts on the show we talked about how it costs, I think, 2.5 cents to manufacture a 1 cent penny or something like
Yeah,
that.
a penny. Penny
Yeah.
costs more than what it's
Then
worth.
1 cent. My
That's a
gosh.
real good move, isn't it?
It is. Now, speaking of U.S. currency, now I took some interest in U.S. currency because I used to live in the United States in New York with Roy, but no, I didn't.
Nick says I took some interest in U.S. currency. I like money.
That's
I
right.
like to spend it. Remember the movie The Wedding Singer?
Oh yeah, I love money. So this one I call keeping an eye out for you. So now, if you look at the $1 bill, there's a pyramid there with the eye at the top that appears actually at the back of the U.S. dollar.
Isn't that Masonic?
I don't know what her name is, but anyway, the U.S. Treasury Office gets the question quite often as to, what is it? So here's the answer. So the pyramid is part of the Great Seal of the United States. The Great Seal was first used in the reverse of the $1 Federal Reserve note in 1935. And according to the State Department, which is the official keeper of the seal, they fed it fish. The pyramid symbolizes strength and durability. And the pyramid appears unfinished because it means the United States will always grow, improve, and build.
Now, I don't believe that.
You don't?
And I'm going to question it.
Uh-oh.
I believe that we know that George Washington was a high Masonic figure.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that that was placed on there in homage of the fact that he was a Masonic figure. And that is the all-seeing eye. And the Masons use the pyramid. They love triangles. And that's why it's floating in its own triangle above the unfinished. But that's not an unfinished pyramid. The Great Pyramid has a cap on it as well. I forget what they call that, the temple stone or something stone, which is the cap.
Okay, there you go. See, listen, laugh, and learn.
By the way, of course, you do know that the obelisk that is the George Washington Memorial in Washington, and Nick, because we were there.
That's right, we were.
But that also has a pyramid cap on it as well.
Check it out. See, there you go. And one day we will explain why Roy and I were in Washington.
We'll put it in the newsletter.
Yeah, it was a great story.
We know about paper money, right?
Yes.
What about a U.S. coin? And they estimate that before a U.S. coin begins to wear, it can be in circulation for, Nick?
50 years.
30 years.
Okay.
Before it begins to show wear. 30 years.
Yeah.
How crazy is that? That's a long time, 30 years.
It is.
I wanted to ask you a question, Nick. The Egyptian money, how did it wear when you put it in your pocket?
I mean, when I buried King Tut personally? Is that what you're talking about? So I said 50 because it's 50 Canadian. That's where I got the numbers all mixed up. The word money, by the way, here are a couple of money facts. So I'm going to have several facts for the rest of this topic here as we're doing money on Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. So some money facts. The word money comes from the Latin word moneta, which was the name of the goddess of finance in ancient Rome.
How cool.
Yeah, so she was responsible for the money. Show me the moneta. And also
I don't know if I'm okay. I was gonna say I don't know if I'm gonna step on you with my next fact, but go ahead.
But one other fact here. So the largest was still on talking about the US currency. The largest note ever printed by the US Treasury was the $100,000 bill.
And I got one in my pocket.
Oh, yeah. Well, one in each pocket, of course. It had a picture of Woodrow Wilson on it, and it was used only for transactions between Federal Reserve banks. So the money that you have in your pocket is probably counterfeit.
Wow. Nick has a lot of notes in his pocket. Most of them are IOUs.
Right.
He uses them frequently.
Yes.
I was hoping I wasn't going to step on you. The dollar sign that we use before the number in the U.S. dollar.
Okay.
You know how it's the S with the two lines through?
Yes, yes.
Okay. In 1785, we were still using the Spanish symbol of the peso, which was P period S.
Okay.
So before 1785, if you had $100, it would say P period S, like PS, like you would put on a letter.
Right.
And it would say P period S and then 100. But what was happening was people were writing quickly and they would countermingle the P with the S, and it eventually came an S with two strikes in it rather than even to write the P.
I like it a lot. Oh, wow.
And so the P turned into the S, and then boom, you have the dollar symbol.
Here's some more money facts. The C note, we've often heard of the $100 bill, slang for the C note. It's a C note. Well, the reason why they call it a C note, it comes from the Roman numeral C, which stands for the number 100. The 100.
Oh, wow, that's right.
The C note.
Oh,
the $100 bill once had a capital C in the upper left-hand corner. So that's a C note. Okay. Now, up here in Canada, we have the proud distinction of producing the world's largest coin, produced by the Canadian Mint in 2007. It weighs over 1 ton.
No.
The largest coin ever produced by the Royal Canadian Mint in 2007.
Tell me it has a maple leaf on it.
You know it does.
You
know it does.
And some syrup.
Yes. When you squeeze the coin, maple syrup drips out. It's amazing how
That's why
works.
it weighs 100.
That's right. That's why it weighs a ton.
It's where they keep the maple syrup reserves.
Yeah, you see, now I revealed the secret now, right? Oh, well, sure.
I love this one. This one's a cool one because most people don't know it, and you're going to want to tell people this.
Mm-hmm.
The U.S. isn't the only country that uses the U.S. dollar.
Oh, okay.
Now, we know Canadians accept U.S. money just because it's better than theirs. No.
Oh, well,
that's not true. That's not true.
We've been friends for so long, just like you and I have, that we without borders, basically. I mean, we have a border, but it's the longest, friendliest border. But sure, go on.
No, we're not nice in America. We look at Canadian money and go, "What's this?" I mean, that's not
You
right.
I don't. Let me quote you. When you came up here in the year after I moved up here, which was 1990, you said, "What's the funny money?" That's what you called it, funny money. That's
Monopoly money.
Well, because all of our money, see, in the United States.
I love your money. It's colorful. It looks like it's got plastic in it. It's really cool.
Well, it is. But the thing is, so we can distinguish a $5 bill from a $10 bill and 20 and so on, where in the United States, although lately they've made more more adjustments to it. So you can tell one bill from the other, but all of the money in the United States is green. And
yeah,
so
I'm glad we don't change, though, because when I hand somebody a 5 and then I stand there and I say, "Yeah, I gave you a 20." No.
Wait a minute. You have two tens for a 5? Sorry, what were you saying about the?
So the U.S. is not the only country to use the U.S. dollar.
Okay.
Get ready. The British Virgin Islands uses the American dollar, and they're the British Virgin Islands. That's wild. East Timor uses the American dollar. Bonaire, which is part of the ABC Islands. I've been there. It's fantastic.
Okay.
Ecuador uses an American dollar as their currency. El Salvador uses the American dollar. Micronesia, which must be like amnesia but smaller. Micronesia is a country and it uses the American dollar. The Marshall Islands country uses the American dollar. Palau, which is Palau, uses the American dollar. I love this one. Panama uses the American dollar.
Wow.
The Turks and Caicos use the American dollar. I've been there too. It's cool. And get ready for this one. All the way in Africa, Zimbabwe uses the American dollar.
That is fascinating, isn't it? Like all of those places use the American dollar. Now,
makes sense. They don't have to print their own money. It's a reliable currency. It makes sense.
So you're not talking about countries that accept American dollars like Canada?
No, they actually use the American dollar as their currency.
Got it.
Nick and Roy will continue with totally useless information.
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times, or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months, or the Rogue heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
We're back with totally useless information with Nick and Roy. Listen, laugh, and learn.
A couple of last money facts from me. The first ATM, we all use ATMs from time to time. It's quite convenient. And the first one was installed in London in 1967. Because the 100 bill has a picture of the Benjamin Franklin on it, it's also called the Benjamin. So not only a C note is 100, but you can also call it a Benjamin.
Step right up here. Step right up, folks. Don't be shy. Move it. Totally useless information with Nick and Roy present Games People Play.
I love how she says that. Move it. And so we both you and I on Zoom, we sit at attention because we're kind of like, all right, we're relaxing, we're having a good time recording the show, and then as soon as she says, move it, we're at attention. So we're ready to go.
I love talking to people, and I'm on the phone, and they'll say, "Oh, well, I got to check into." I'm like, take your time, but you done?
So the first video game ever was Pong, was it? What do you think?
I would think it's Battleship.
No, it was Pong. Well, it was Pong. People thought it was Pong, but it was tennis for two. Pong.
Oh, I heard this story. This was a big battle. Go ahead.
The game everyone thinks started it all, but no, it was actually, quote, tennis for two, developed in 1958 by physicist William Higginbotham. It displayed on an oscilloscope screen. This game was the star of the Brookhaven National Laboratory open house, so Pong can pong off its tennis for two.
I think he sold it to ColecoVision, and then ColecoVision went out of business, and the guy from Atari stole the idea and called it Pong. There's a movie about it or something. It's pretty interesting, and he gets sued years later, and there's a whole big to-do about it. So, yeah, it's cool. Pong has really got an amazing story.
Boop.
Monopoly.
Boop. Hold on, I'm playing it now. Boop.
Yep.
Boop, boop. Boop. Remember that? Boop.
Yeah.
Boop, 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 boop,
boop, boop. Yeah. In fact, Nick's been doing that for years. We can't seem to stop him. In 2015, Monopoly turned 80.
Wow.
So in 2025, next year, Monopoly will be 90 years old. So Monopoly is actually older than Joe Biden. Who would have thought?
Here's the thing. I don't know if it's still true, but I remember in one of our shows, like we really go out of our way. We do scour the internet, but we do as much research as we possibly can to make sure that most of our, all of our information is correct. But I believe at one time, if it isn't still happening, the Monopoly money was the most printed currency in all of the world.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I think we had that on the show.
Yeah. So
my thing about Monopoly, if it's 90 years old, right?
Yeah.
My question is, what did Nick play before Monopoly?
I played jacks. Now, there was a video.
I played Jill.
You sure did. In 1982, I believe it was, E.T. the movie was a huge hit for Steven Spielberg. Drew Barrymore was a little child star. She was amazing. What a great movie that was. And they thought, you know what? Since the movie was such a success, let's develop a video game. E.T. the video game. Well, guess what? The E.T. video game was not as successful. It was so horrendous that it led to thousands of unsold cartridges being buried in a New Mexico landfill.
They went home.
They did. The game, probably. The game was rushed to market in just 5 weeks to coincide with the movie's release. It didn't go well, obviously. So, thousands upon thousands of unsold E.T. video game cartridges were buried in a New Mexico landfill.
Very much like E.T., I guess the video game people gave him the finger. Elliot, home.
Yeah, and then when they realized that they developed such a bomb, they went, ouch.
Ouch, Elliot. That was a stupid movie.
Ah, come
I
on.
didn't like. I don't like any Spielberg movies. I'm sorry. Plus, there's a lot of reasons I don't like him, but we'll get into that another time.
Okay.
All right, the inventor of the game Cranium. Okay, very, very big game. And I have two facts about Cranium.
Okay.
But the inventor of the game Cranium came up with the idea after he and his wife dominated another couple at the game Pictionary. They destroyed them at Pictionary. But the week after that, they played the same couple. They played the game Scrabble with them, and they got destroyed. So he said, we're great at Pictionary, but we're not really that good at Scrabble. So if I could combine these two games, it will be so interesting and it will be great.
Mm-hmm.
And he came up with the game Cranium.
Very smart. He used his cranium for that one. Very smart.
Yeah. And I saw them and I threw a ET cartridge and hit him in the cranium.
Ouch.
Ouch.
The longest
I knew
game,
that was coming. I was waiting for it.
waiting for it, like waiting for a bus.
I teed it up, and
there you go, and hit it right out of the park. The longest gaming session led to a man's death. Yep.
Mm.
So our advice to all you gaming: get your hands off the joystick.
So to speak.
A Taiwanese man decided to play World of Warcraft for 24 hours straight, and he ended up dead. The cause? There was a blood clot from sitting too long.
In his derriere.
I don't know if he was.
No, I don't know. I'm just saying that.
I don't know if he was in Minnesota or not.
And Nick is actually looking at.
No. I'm just thinking.
He's like, let's see exactly where.
No. It reminded me one of the states that their state slogan is "Come smell our dairy air," the dairy state. So here's some advice from us. I know it's useful information. So you know what? Let me dust off this useful information.
Do a little count.
Kids, even gaming should come with a stand up and stretch warning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so stand up and
Very
stretch.
good, Nick. I think we should maybe speak to Congress about passing an act called the Stand Up and Stretch Act.
Right, exactly.
Okay, get ready here. Another Cranium fact.
Okay, all
the
right.
game Cranium was the first non-coffee product to be sold at Starbucks around the country. So the first non-coffee product that they sold, they used to put Cranium games on the table so that people would stick around and drink coffee.
Good idea.
And then they said, we might as well sell these because a lot of people are asking about them. It is the first non-coffee sold, and it also is the first game to be sold on Amazon, and it is the first game to be sold in Barnes & Noble.
Final Fantasy was named for its creator's last-ditch effort. The name Final Fantasy sounds like a great finale name, don't you think? It was actually the name because it was Square Enix founder Hironobu Sakaguchi. You know him, don't you?
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, I say it all the time.
Yeah. So it was a last-ditch effort to save his failing company. If the game flopped, he planned to quit the industry. Well, guess what? It didn't flop at all. So Final Fantasy wasn't a Final Fantasy after all. It helped Hironobu Sakaguchi and his company.
His poor wife.
Why?
I mean, that name.
Oh, Mr. and Mrs.
Could you imagine if her name was like Smoochie Saraguchi?
Well, that's what happens when it comes home from work. Little Smoochie Sakaguchi.
Have you ever played Jenga?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, and I've gone to bars where they have like the life-size Jenga.
Oh, wow.
It's like really, they're like 2x4s. You know?
Okay. That's interesting.
But it's really cool because it's a big Jenga set, you know?
Wow. Awesome.
Where do you think the name Jenga came from?
Somebody's dog.
Nope. It's Swahili for the word to build.
Really?
Yes, folks. That's the one to write down and bring to the water cooler.
You know,
the word Jenga, Swahili for the word to build.
You know what I was thinking? I'm thinking out loud, and I've never told you this before, so I'm going to say it to you for the first time and to our audience. So, well, you know, coming up in the fall, it'll be our 5th anniversary. 5th anniversary of Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. We're going to have special shows celebrating 5 years, and I'm going to come up. I'm still trying to figure out and calculating how many facts we've given over the course of the 5 years.
Nick and Roy will continue with totally useless information.
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times, or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months, or the Rogue heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
You're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. Listen, laugh, and learn.
You go to our website, nickandroy.com, and you can order a birthday message. And we just did one recently. We do one, many of them. But one recently really sticks out because they said they were so thrilled that they didn't realize how much hard work we put into, hard work and how much detail we put into the birthday message. And what we do is we basically take the information from the birthday person, the birthday guest of honor, and we create a totally useless information show specifically talking about all of the facts on the day that they were born.
You have to go to nickandroy.com and type on the Nick and Roy store, and you can actually go to the birthday message. You'll hear, we have a sample on there that you can hear. This is the greatest gift. I'm telling you, Nick and I do these, so many of them every week. And the response to this is just amazing. We had no idea that the response would be this great. People are getting these. They're sending them to all their friends saying, look at what I got. This is so much fun. And we get, from one person, we get 30 people. I mean, it's just that amazing. So go to nickandroy.com, right?
Go to nickandroy.com. And not only that, so the person who orders their birthday message, by the way, a fraction of the cost of what you get at that other place that has celebrities do cameo appearances. See what I did?
Yeah, that's just them saying happy birthday.
That's
like,
right.
Big deal.
That's
we literally do a show for the people.
That's right.
It is so cool.
It's so personalized. You go to nickandroy.com. And you know
and
what else?
we're famous. We're famous.
Oh, we are. In our minds, we're absolutely like stars. When you go to our website, nickandroy.com, you can actually also leave us an email.
What's in the mailbag? What's in the mail?
We have William from Freeport, Long Island. Freeport, you know where that is?
Ooh,
You know-
I do know exactly where that is.
How far
yes.
on the island is that?
It's probably like, I think Freeport is like 61, 62 off the Long Island Expressway. I think
halfway?
it's before the Coram exit.
Is it like halfway, almost halfway down the island?
Oh, yeah, it's halfway at
Okay.
least, yeah.
Well, William, wherever you are, thank you very much for writing in. Dear Nick and Roy, we'd love listening to your show. You guys are really amazing. We don't understand how you can get all that totally useless information in one program. So we love listening to your show, but here's my question. So my daughter's boyfriend has graduated with a bachelor's degree. So what I wanted to know is, what is a bachelor's degree? And I'm thinking, that's a great question. Well, William, either your daughter's boyfriend will be a perpetual bachelor, so be careful. But the bachelor's degree, the word bachelor is derived from the medieval Latin word baccalaureus, was originally referred to someone...
That's a salty fish, isn't it?
No, that's bacala. Originally referred to someone of low rank in the feudal hierarchy. Over time, the meaning was extended to denote persons of subordinate position in other systems, including those holding a preliminary degree from a college or university. This enabled them to proceed to the degree of master, which then entitled them to teach at the university. A bachelor's degree signifies that the holder is not yet a full member of the university. So, okay, I think your daughter, we give your daughter permission to date this guy, but it sounds like he has some great plans ahead of him.
We were talking about the birthday messages, and Nick likes to take the emails that we get when people ask questions, but I'm way too lazy for that. I like to take the fun ones, but this one was Maurice from New Orleans.
Nolans, yeah.
And he says, I want to thank you. My wife got me a birthday message. It was the most memorable gift I have ever received. But my email is about your newsletter more than the birthday message. I want to thank you guys because it's like the gift that just keeps giving.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to explain to people that if you order a birthday message, the person who orders it and the recipient both get a free year each of our newsletter, which is really cool, guys, because you should get our newsletter. And I got to thank Nick and some other people for doing that because I'm much too lazy for that too. No. He says, for the last 2 months, I have enjoyed it so much.
There you go.
Cool, right?
Awesome. Here's what's really cool. Today on the show, we talked about fashion. We talked about money. We talked about games. It's time for the news.
And now, from around the corner and around the world, this is TUI News.
A California man staying at a Las Vegas strip resort over the holiday season.
A Las Vegas strip resort. Would that be where they take their clothes off?
No. It's like the strip of I've never been.
Like the Sunset Strip type
Right,
of
yeah.
situation.
I've never been to
okay.
Vegas. Have you ever been to Vegas?
I have been to Vegas.
Oh, you have?
It is not my cup of tea.
Okay, well then have a coffee. This guy will never forget, this California man staying at a resort will never forget the holiday he had over the holiday season, but he's actually considering legal action against this resort. You know why?
No, tell me.
He had his testicles stung by a scorpion while he was asleep.
Ooh,
That's why.
that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, well, that's why. What was my teaser when I said?
That's why I never bring the jewelry with me. The family jewels.
Right.
They must be protected at all times.
That's right. What was my at the beginning of the show and in the news? Once bitten. Wait, you're a Scorpio? That's what I meant. Okay.
A very good pun. Nick.
Thank you very much, Michael Farchi.
So this guy gets his I guess it crawled into his space maybe while he was sleeping or something, and
yeah, here's what happened.
he gets stung.
He woke up in excruciating pain during his stay at the resort. He says, quote, I just felt like somebody stabbing me in my private area. It felt like a sharp glass or knife. All the male audience members are squirming right now. And lo and behold.
Did it swell up? That's what I want to know.
We'll have to ask.
Because if that works, I'll just sting my penis.
I went to the bathroom and I saw a scorpion hanging on my underwear.
Oh, it was still in his pants.
Afterward, the man and his family checked out early, a day later, because,
No.
Yeah.
You think? I would check out too. I'd be like, hey, we had a room for two and we had some scorpions. That's not what we intended.
Well, according to the report, it was, quote, bitten. The victim was bitten by a scorpion on his groin/testicles around 8 a.m. They even know what time it happened.
Yeah.
The report.
He probably said in his report, I came to Vegas to have a ball, not to have my ball bitten.
That's right. He said he was diagnosed with when he went to the hospital, he was diagnosed, and this is how really brilliant they are down in the hospitals in Las Vegas. He was diagnosed with a scorpion sting.
I understand it's very painful. A scorpion sting is very painful. And to have it happen in the old Saccaroni, oh no.
Yikes.
No. I would rather anywhere else other than there.
Well, that's all the time we have for this week's episode of Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. Thank you for joining us. We will, of course, scour the internet and find out more totally useless information just for you.
And until then, remember, we're back next week with another new episode. Until then, thanks for listening all over the world.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Roy.
Thanks for listening.
Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy is a production of nickandroy.com. Visit nickandroy.com to access the full library of episodes or wherever you get your podcasts.